Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto content, and today we're going to be talking about Hedera Hashgraph. We're going to go in depth on a few things, a few little bit of a speculation theory as well, regarding a governing council member and stuff like that. So without further ado, if you guys are an HBAR bearing, if you guys support HBAR, comment down below how long you've been holding your HBARs for, and also like this video. So let's jump into it. So right now, we are actually seeing a little bit of a green weekend for the most part. Bitcoin is holding at 33.8K. I do still have a little bit of a worrisome on Bitcoin's part. I do want to see about 36K being targeted before we do drop, but who knows? I mean, I see a lot of people calling for sub 30K. I see 25K being called out, 23K. Honestly, it's hard to tell. We just gotta wait and see with PA, but I do have fiat on the side just in case we do go lower. But who knows? I think that honestly our low was most likely about 28K. I think that's our lowest point that we could probably get to. But who knows? You know, I said that 26K is possible. We just really gotta wait and see. But I do want to talk about some stuff regarding this. Now, we do see, you know, Hedera Hashgraph jumping into, pretty much diving in, I should say, into the NFT market, right? And this is actually regarding the Grateful Dead and also Too Short, two music artists, obviously. The Grateful Dead has been around forever now, but we do see that they are making another NFT marketplace that is going to be utilizing Hedera Hashgraph, or I should say they are welcoming on another one. So this is VCES, VCCES, I believe. It's hard to say, but I don't know how to pronounce this one. But we do see here the new wave of fandom live now, featuring Big Steve Parrish of the Grateful Dead NFT drop ending 5/26 at 5 p.m. It's a very small overall platform, I suppose, but it is new, user-friendly and accessible NFT marketplace built on Hedera Hashgraph. It's designed to make it easy for non-crypto natives to purchase NFTs, I suppose. So it's very interesting that they are pretty much jumping in headfirst into the NFT marketplace. Like I said, it's an ever-prospering and growing market, so it's nothing too crazy. Like, I don't expect this to move the price at all. I mean, obviously it didn't, so I don't think that this is pretty much anything too bullish, but we are seeing them get more and more involved in NFTs, and NFTs, like I said, are still growing at astronomical rates. So with that being said, let's jump into our next thing. So a lot of people were concerned and kind of disappointed overall, because we got this update talking about the circulating supply. Now, HBARs were moved from this account. They were basically in an external restricted account. The third party moved them without notifying Hedera. The new account is now also an external restricted account. The API was updated, and 700 million HBARs deducted from the circulating supply. Now, I did get a lot of messages regarding this. They were like, you know, what happened? Like, you know, was an unlock, you know, pretty much, did an unlock occur without it being, you know, fully announced or anything? A lot of people were speculating that Coinbase might be joining as, you know, a GC member. You know, a lot of things were happening, but I mean, it ended up just being a dud, right? It just ended up being an account that was moving HBAR. But it is very interesting that 700 million HBARs were moved from this account. So I wonder who is actually holding this. Obviously, I'm sure that you could find it out very easily, but this isn't anything too crazy. It's nothing too bullish either, but I know a lot of people were let down. For example, a lot of people down here were, you know, they were saying, oh, well, too bad. I thought it was something, you know, pretty big or whatever. Listen, for anybody who is concerned about GC members joining the council, I just want to say, who knows what will happen from this overall. You know, it's basically a conference, if you will, or it's a webinar, basically. So who knows what is going to come from this? We do see this webinar I've been talking about in my last two videos, but the reason why I'm going to be talking about it in this is it's very interesting. So we do see here, you'll discover our handling of carbon credits, an overview of our open source trust enterprise APR, a preview of the Dovu MVP. Now, the interesting thing about Dovu, I'm sure that you all know about this, but they basically own a little bit, or they're partially owned by Jaguar Land Rover. Now, I know a lot of people have been speculating. I know that I have a post that's on my Twitter actually where I said, does anybody, want to take a guess on who the next GC member is? I've seen a lot of individuals say a lot of, names like Microsoft. I even mentioned Microsoft and also Volvo. I know a lot of people were mentioning some, car companies as well. Now, in regards to that, right? Would it be too crazy if Jaguar actually joined the GC members? I honestly don't think that that would be too crazy of an idea because they are an automotive, company, and we've talked about how big that automotive scene is and how it's basically begging to be disrupted by technology like a DOT or like even Hedera Hashgraph. So it's very interesting to see this playing out. Who knows? I'm going to be there. I'm going to listen in and really kind of see what happens here because this is very interesting to really see. Now, we do see down here, if the planet matters to you or you're interested in real-world environmental, social, and governance use cases that feature DLT. So, obviously, that's what their main focus is on, which I would see that actually being incorporated into Jaguars as well, their main focus point, especially considering the fact that I don't know if they are in the EV market yet, but this would be a great time for them to really kind of prosper and get into it as well, because I do know that Jaguar is a pretty big company overall. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. So if we do come down here, we do know that Hedera Hashgraph is still sitting at about 50, still sitting under that 18-cent zone. Nothing too crazy happening with that. I actually have two charts open. So we do see over here that we basically haven't moved too much. Like, honestly, like, this just does not look anything spectacular or anything like that. And I do know a lot of people are getting, a bit concerned, whatever. I think that this is one of the biggest bull flags ever. A lot of people are still concerned with the idea that we're not moving much or that, we're not doing anything. We're kind of just sitting stagnant, whatever. I also want to give you guys an insight on Matic because Matic did the same exact thing. Let's actually look it back. So, here's Matic's little bit of a, I would say a little bit of a sideways trading where it did sit stagnant for a little bit. Didn't sit stagnant for too long. Now, I compared these two graphs quite a lot now. But the reason why I'm talking about this one and the reason why I'm bringing this up once again is it's very simple, right? So I see a lot of people saying HBAR is never going to this price this bull run. We'll be happy to see 50 cents. We'll be happy to see this, that, whatever. Listen, I know that, with Hedera Hashgraph, it's nothing too spectacular like with price movement. The price action hasn't been great. We've been sitting at this stagnant level. Honestly, listen, this Bitcoin drop that happened back in May came at one of the worst times possible because we pretty much came off of a failed push up, and that's basically when Bitcoin started dumping out. So obviously, it's going to look like it's going to look like trash. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So it's obviously going to look like trash, and that is basically what we are seeing right now. We have been in a very long consolidation pattern. We have been in about 130 days flat of consolidation. Now, me personally, this is actually very bullish for us, and a lot of people might be wondering, well, why is this bullish at all? Well, good question. It's pretty much like this, right? The longer the consolidation, the higher the pump up. So, for an example, do you honestly believe that we consolidated for 130 days to do a measly 178% pump? Like, I see a lot of people pushing the narrative of, oh, we're never going to get back to 50 cents, or is 50 cents going to be the topping point for Hedera Hashgraph, or, oh, I thought that, because I always say, I think that we could see, $3 to $6 on HBAR, and I still believe that 100%. And a lot of people are just calling me, a hopium thriller or whatever. It's like so much stuff gets called out about me just saying, a price target for HBAR. But realistically, what a lot of people don't realize is that why would we consolidate for 130 days and only move about 5 cents above our all-time high? Do people not realize what happens when we go past an all-time high? For example, when Matic broke its all-time high, so this was the all-time high that it made, or wait, no, this is actually April. So here's the all-time high that it made back in March. It was about 55 cents. And look at exactly what happened once we started to break it, and we did break out. Look at how much it moved in such a short amount of time. This is in days, by the way. So just to give you guys a little bit of an insight here. Now, obviously, this one did not consolidate as long as we have. So this consolidated for about 44 days before it did a massive push up in price of about over 642% of an increase in price. Now, obviously, you know, at 50 cents, that's well undervalued. You know, if we did a 642% of an increase in price as well, we would be at about $1.33, which I do know a lot of people will be happy about. You know, that's totally fine. But if we do a 643% of an increase in price from our current all-time high, right? So let's move this. Let's kind of zoom out a little bit. And if we pump up about 642%, it's almost right on my, you know, pretty much X here. Now, obviously this is a 2% over, but it's about $3.40. That is why I say $3 to $6 is achievable, because when we look at these small pumps, first off, Matic is not done. Don't be surprised if we see another massive pump on Matic before the end of the year. Now, with HBAR, yeah, you know, if we are in a wave 5 distribution pattern on Bitcoin, which I do think that we are, and I think that is it's an absolutely bullish pattern as well, then HBAR going to $6, for an example, this bull run, and say for so that's the top, right? Say for so we top out at $6 for HBAR. I'm totally fine with that. I mean, I'm happy with that, whatever. So say for so this is our topping point right here. We pass our $3. That's still only 1,200% of an increase in price. Compared to most assets, that's pretty much nothing. Now, when we're talking about this, the reason why I think that $6 is very achievable is it's not just from a speculative basis on what's happening with Hedera Hashgraph, what they're building or anything like that. Like, fundamentals don't really matter all that much in this game. We could actually kind of see that even with ADA, which we've talked about ADA, right? All it was, you know, good marketing aspects. Now, I already have the percentage here. This did a 19,000% of an increase in price going back from the March 2020 drop to our current all-time high. Very, very incredible to see for an asset like, you know, ADA. Now, ADA did the same thing, right? For an example, I just want to show you guys that we consolidated just as much, if not a little bit less, than Matic, but we did not nearly consolidate as much as HBAR has been lately. So here's where the consolidation really started to happen. Actually, technically right here. And we consolidated on ADA for about 59 days before we started to break out. Now, we could say that this entire zone here was consolidation before we started to really break up, which was 89 days overall. Now, this did an all-time high run. This went to $2.40 plus cents, and we already know that they're only doing about 7 million transactions in a 4-year span. Smart contracts, who knows where they are. I see a lot of people saying that smart contracts are already released, whatever. Listen, half of the stuff that I see with that smart contract stuff is just all nonsense. Listen, I really don't care about ADA. Like, if you guys like ADA, that's totally fine. Do you? It's just not for me. But we're talking about something that HBAR, you know, HBAR could easily, you know, disrupt what ADA is doing and pretty much just prosper ahead of it. Now, the only reason why ADA did this wasn't because of, you know, governing council members being released or, oh, they're doing this many transactions or that, whatever. This got to this point off of YouTube shilling and a marketing team. So when we talk about HBAR and people say, oh, it can't even go over 20 cents. It's such a trash coin. It's never going to go to 50 cents plus. We'll be lucky to see $1 this year. Like, dude, you guys realize that there's no marketing behind Hedera Hashgraph yet, right? Like, they want slow building, but also at the same time that once HBAR, and I'm telling you guys, I'm warning you guys this right now, right? Once HBAR passes this zone here and we go into price discovery, watch out, because just like this, you know, we are going to see a pump similar to this or similar to even Matic, right? Because I watched Matic. I was in Matic. Still hold Matic as well. When we seen this break out of this all-time high, that's when we knew We knew that this was going to fly. And look at it, it almost stopped right before $3. So even if HBAR stops before $3 and when that's our top, totally fine with that as well. But I think that this has endless potential for it. And this is even a long time hold for a lot of individuals. So let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. I'm still very bullish on HBAR and on HBAR's price targets. Let me know what your guys' price targets are for HBAR. But nonetheless, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. If you guys do want more free content, go follow me on Twitter at NCashOfficial. You guys can also join the free Discord down in the description below. And guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.